Welcome back, fans of Cobra Kai. It has been an exciting couple of weeks with not only the full Season 3 trailer finally dropping, but also an official clip starring Daniel and Kumiko. That's right, Kumiko is coming back. 50 push-ups on your knuckles for all of you who were in the comments of that video telling me how I was wrong. John Kreese would want it that way.
More mercy.
Okay, fine, just 20 push-ups on your knuckles. You're lucky Kreese stepped in. So today, we're going to take a look at the exclusive Netflix clip from Cobra Kai Season 3 and speculate on what it could mean, as, just like everything they've released so far, it's pretty ambiguous and leaves us on a cliffhanger. But before we get started, I would like to ask you to like this video and subscribe if you have not already. I'll be doing more videos moving into 2021, and I'm extremely grateful for the support you've shown this channel thus far. With that being said, let's jump into the clip. It's short, only about 40 seconds long, but don't worry, I'll do my best to overanalyze it to death.
Everyone looks to me for answers, and I'm spinning around so much I can't tell which way is up.
I used to have this nightmare that I had to go on stage and I did not know the choreography. I felt out of control.
So here we can see our favorite Karate Kid couple sitting in a cafe in what I will assume is Okinawa. I guess it could be possible that they were somewhere else in Japan, as we learned previously that Kumiko got a job in Tokyo with a dance company after Karate Kid 2, but let's assume it's Okinawa and just move forward. We can also see that Daniel is indeed still a confused mess, in crisis due to, we know now, his student being in jail and possibly recruited into Cobra Kai by John Kreese, as well as possibly a number of things hinted at in the trailer. The lines between good and bad are getting very blurred for Daniel. He seems to have made peace with Johnny Lawrence, but in opposition to that, it seems like his students might be giving into the dark side a little bit. Dimitri is bullying Hawk on the soccer field, which is a great callback to Bobby tripping up Daniel. Sam has been slightly traumatized after her fight with Tori. His wife put her foot down on his training, and probably a number of other things we don't even know about yet. Kumiko is trying to relate to this, and let me say, I've seen a few people talking about her appearance. Hey guys, it's 30-something years later. But nonetheless, I think she looks great. Kumiko in Karate Kid Part 2 might have been my first movie love as a kid. And I will probably always carry that flame for her deep down. We all have one like that. Kumiko is mine. I won't hear a bad word against her. And Tamlin Tomita also looks a bit different because she has had some work done, as actresses tend to do. She's had steady work since Karate Kid Part 2, so I also look forward to seeing a more experienced Tamlin Tomita revive the character of Kumiko all these years later. Should be cool.
Exactly. I used to go to Mr. Miyagi for help. But, you know, I am the same age now that Mr. Miyagi was when he met me. He had it all figured out.
Daniel's really coming off as depressed in this scene, and possibly coming to terms with the conflict of his age versus his inexperience. Being the student versus being the master. While Miyagi, his mentor and hero, seem to have it all together and have all the answers at this age, Daniel is back to being a confused white belt mentally. Not really able to cope yet with being the sensei. After all, it's very different. Dealing with the victories and failures of his students and as an extension of himself. The rejections of possibly some of the students leaving Miyagi-Do. He's in a tough spot. But we still don't know exactly why he travels to Okinawa. Some people think Sato's funeral, but my money is on to regain some sort of balance. I still say something really bad is going to happen. Possibly between Daniel and Amanda, or him and some of his students. Maybe he even shuts down Miyagi-Do entirely after the ending of Season 2, leaving his students to fend for themselves against Kreese and Cobra Kai. This might even be why Dimitri's kind of turning bad boy on us. But it's safe to say every aspect of his life is falling apart. Sam is hurt and scared, his wife is upset, and by the way, she works with him, so his career is definitely more stressful. Robbie's in jail, everything's falling apart, and he has no answers. And the only person who could ever give him those answers and help him regain balance is now dead.
Wish I still had him. You know, I wish he could be here to help guide me.
I think I can make that happen.
Okay, so what did Kumiko mean by that? It could be a few things. The most obvious is bringing him to Chosen, who is confirmed to be returning as well. Something else I called in my first video. Chosen is, of course, the last remaining heir to Miyagi family karate, as his sensei, Sato, was the only other student trained by Miyagi's father. Now, some of you might be thinking, what about Julie Pierce? To which I reply, what about Julie Pierce? Who cares? I'm sure she'll make some cameo at some point, but can we just consider the next Karate Kid as the last Jedi of the Karate Kid saga? Can we just try to forget that happened? Anyway, that's one thing she might mean, to speak to and train with Chosen. This is the most likely scenario, as the echoes of Chosen's "Are you sure about that?" and "Let us find out" are fresh in our minds. He's clearly going to be teaching Daniel something. Or it might be something more than that, something maybe more spiritual. Possibly meditation in the family dojo, clearing his mind and listening for some guidance that's been locked away in his brain. It's possible, but I think Kumiko is being a little more literal here. After all, we've never known her to be anything but a dancer. She's not a martial artist, she's not a hardcore Buddhist that we know of, not someone who would be able to instruct Daniel in that sort of thing. Contrary to popular belief by Westerners, and I know this will be shocking for some of you to hear, not all Japanese people are keepers of mystical secrets of the universe. My girlfriend's Japanese, she's more or less just into green tea Kit Kat bars and anime, and that's about it. Also, by the way, you're welcome for the exclusive Kit Kat spoiler on Twitter. No problem, I don't mind being your hookup for this kind of knowledge. Could it be a manual? A book? Something Miyagi wrote down? Maybe even something Sato created? Some text that Miyagi never got around to showing Daniel? After all, we still have no confirmation on what the second rule of Miyagi-Do karate is. I still have my doubts about it being first learn rule number 1. My money is on Chosen being the way Kumiko is going to help Daniel. And it'll be real interesting to hear how Chosen and Kumiko resolved the, I guess you could say, issues they had in Karate Kid Part 2.
Backdoor killer! Till then!
You gotta wonder what Chosen did to get back in Kumiko's good graces after jumping her and holding a knife to her throat and slapping her around in front of the whole village. Regardless, this clip is both exciting and frustrating, as it unleashes yet another puzzle on us that we have to wait until January to solve. But like I said, at very least, it is great to see Tamlin Tomita on screen as Kumiko again. But what do you think? Is there something I missed? I would love to read your thoughts on this new clip in the comments below. And as always, no mercy, my friends.